Hello, and you're all very welcome along to the latest Champ.ie podcast, Ireland's premier horse racing podcast in association with BOYLE Sports, Gowran Park, EJ Menswear, Shamrock Thoroughbreds, Midland Travel and McCafferty's traditional Irish bars.
They're coming to the final fence in the 25 Goffs Thyestes. Nick Rocket lands in the lead from Velvet Elvis, gone well clear of Favori de Shondu and Bushman's Pass. They're well strung out. Nick Rocket on the stand side for win number 10 in the race for Willie Mullins.
Enter our Champ.ie headline competition in association with Midland Travel, where you could win a trip for two to the Cheltenham Festival 2026. For a chance to win, simply subscribe to the Champ.ie podcast on YouTube if you haven't already, and scan the QR code to enter your competition details today. We look forward to discussing your weekly #5cast selections in the comment section below. Hello, and you're all very welcome along to Season 7, Episode 1 of Champ.ie. It's a brand new season, and we've added to the Champ.ie family in the way of sponsors, and a big thank you to them, and we'll be hearing their messages throughout the show. Later on in the show as well, we've got a very special guest this week in Danny Gilligan, as we, on this week's show, we look ahead to 10 horses to follow for the new National Hunt season. It's great to have the man beside me, Barry Doyle. I've kicked him out of his studio. I've kind of stolen that for the opening show of the season. He's not happy about it, but nonetheless, that is the way it's going to be for the season ahead. Barry, before we get to the 10 horses to follow for the new season, let's take a look at what you're most looking forward to the National Hunt season ahead.
Well, look, Dave, there's so much to look forward to. And where do we start, Dave? Some of the old favourites, Final Demand, of course. So he's going to be the team captain on the horses to follow list. Spoiler alert, Lecky Watson, what can he do this season? Gordon Elliott, though, I think he's added plenty to the ranks in terms of young horses once again. Obviously, Gordon involved in a lot of private sales. Champion Bumper, once again, I think he could have plenty of opportunities to go close in that once again. Lemmy Caution, obviously Grange Clare Walk. Interesting recruits in that department. Could there be a changing of the guard as well, Dave, in terms of, I suppose, UK trainers behind the likes of Dan Skelton, Harry Derham, Ollie Murphy, Jamie Snowden, all trainers to watch along with James Owen as well across the pond. And Final Demand perhaps to go unbeaten for the season. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, we've plenty to talk about then, but before we do, we want to give you out there a chance to win with our new travel partner, Midland Travel.
To begin with the chance of winning an all-inclusive trip for two to the 2026 Cheltenham Festival in association with Midland Travel, Ireland's leading horse racing travel specialist. Simply subscribe to Champ.ie on YouTube if you haven't already, and scan the QR code on screen and answer the following question. Who won the 2025 Cheltenham Gold Cup? Was it 1. Galopin de Champ, 2. I Know the Way You're Thinking, or 3. Marine Nationale? Register your competition details today, including your YouTube username. Don't forget, you must subscribe to Champ.ie on YouTube to qualify. The competition winner will be announced on Thursday, the 12th of February. Best of luck and be lucky.
Yes, and what a prize it is to the Cheltenham Festival in 2026. Well, get entering if you've got loads of time to do so. We'll be giving you plenty of publicity between now and that draw date on the 12th of February. Barry, we're here today to look at the 10 horses to follow. We're going to kick it right off. We're going to kick off with a Barry Connell-trained horse by the name of William Money. Of course, he split Kopek the Boards and Romeo Coolio in the Supreme. It's a good starting point.
He's a hurdle to follow this season for me, William Mully, and I think I'm intrigued that Barry Connell is actually biting the bullet, going down, avoiding the novice chase campaign and sticking over hurdles. Bar Lossiemouth, I'm not entirely sure he has much to be afraid of. You know, State Man, Constitution Hill, not getting any younger. Constitution Hill, he's definitely on a comeback mission. And the new Lion, I suppose, beating two stayers over 2.5 miles in a tactically run race at the Cheltenham Festival in the Ballymore, the Turners. Is that really champion hurdle form? So he's going to have to step up. William Money, I do believe there's 20-1 or bigger out there for a champion hurdle. I just think he can have an exciting campaign. And when Barry Connell aims one at a race like this far out, he's usually thereabouts, Dave, to be fair.
He certainly is. Well, that's number one. Number two on the list, and of course it wouldn't be 10 to follow without having a number of Willie Mullins trained runners, and one of those is the second horse we're going to look at, Barry. It's Spendlebury. 3 from 3 over fences, and again has the potential with that, could be anything bracket.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. And so I was disappointed that Spindlebury didn't go to the Cheltenham Festival last season. All 3 chase wins, of course, right-handed, but Willie Mullins adamant again in the stable tours that that's just by chance. It's not by design, going right-handed. That was just the way the programme fell for Spindlebury. Again, another 7-year-old with just 7 career starts. So I think, to be fair, at the Spindlebury, there could be a lot more to come from her. Daughter, a policymaker, of course, the same side as Chacun Pour Soi, but there's definitely stamina in there with Spindlebury. She's proven over 2 mile 6 against the geldings as well. I think back in against her own sex. The new course at Cheltenham, she looks tailor-made for the Friday at Cheltenham. For me, that's 2 mile 4 furlongs on the new course, stamina test. I think the deeper the grounds, all her form, whatever about going right-handed and not having, one left-handed over fences, I do think softer ground, the softer the ground, the better for her. She's a big, imposing mare, jumps beautifully, and, she does like to get her toe in. So Spindlebury for me, in terms of a chaser across the board this season, outside of Final Demand, of course, the team captain, Dave, she's the one to follow for me. And, I think she can have a very big season.
I think she can as well. And Gavin Cromwell, the next trainer we're going to talk about, because he's runner is number 3 in our list, and that's a horse by the name of Bud Fox, and landed a good Punchestown. But Gavin Cromwell, we're expecting big things from him this year with the team of horses he has.
Yeah, 84 winners last season for Gavin Cromwell. So I suppose best season for Gavin Cromwell winners-wise in Ireland. And of course, did land a grade 1 at the Dublin Racing Festival. I think Bud Fox, to me, it looks he looks the most exciting novice hurdler that I think Gavin Cromwell has ever potentially had. I mean, we were both on duty the day he tanked through the race at Punchestown. He was punted off the boards, wasn't he, prior to his bumper? He won at Bell Harbour, a point to point for Derek O'Connor. Tom Malone was obviously involved in the transfer. Now with Gavin Cromwell, and despite, I suppose, look, he tanked through the race at Punchestown, but I suppose if you're to watch it back, he got bumped at the 2 furlong pole, and for him to battle like he did, get himself to the front once again and to stay there. The form, it looked to be some decent types in there, Dave. The form has worked out well with the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th all coming out and winning. Of course, Kutash finished 5th on that occasion. We saw what he did in the US, and we'll hear from Danny Gilligan, of course, our special guest later on in the show. So I think the form is smart and described as a machine by his purchaser in recent weeks. And Keith Donoghue, our jockey of the season on our award show. If you haven't checked our award show out, go back and take a look. It was our last episode recorded from a National Hunt perspective last season. He's 33-1 for the Supreme, Dave. Bud Fox. Keith Donoghue, when asked for one horse to follow, he gave us Bud Fox for the new campaign. So he's really exciting, and the first of our walk in the parks to be listed on the horses to follow video.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a look at 3 more horses to follow right after these.
McCafferty's traditional Irish bars are located across Ireland, the UK, Spain and the United Arab Emirates. With authentic Irish decor, each McCafferty's venue is crafted to reflect the charm and warmth of a traditional Irish pub. When the horse racing is live, there is a McCafferty's traditional Irish bar located near you. McCafferty's bars provide the perfect backdrop and atmosphere to watch all horse racing and sports events, serving traditional Irish food and music played 7 days a week. Is your horse racing group planning a trip to the Dublin Racing Festival, the Epsom Derby or the Dubai World Cup? Then be sure to pop into the local McCafferty's traditional Irish bar either before or after racing. Can't make it to the big race day in person? Then why not enjoy a cold pint in Spain for Cheltenham or a creamy pint in Donegal during Aintree? Come to McCafferty's for the crack and stay for the experience. Check out McCafferty'sBars.com.
Welcome back, and we are going to look at the next 3 horses on the 10 to follow on the first episode of Champ.ie on season 7. Derry Hassan Paddy, Lucinda Russell's Charge Barry could be a very exciting prospect for the National Hunt season ahead.
Yeah, for this horse, look at the size of this horse, Derry Hassan Paddy. He's an absolute monster, Dave. And for him to achieve a rating of 143 over herds, I thought was a big achievement last campaign. And he had only 4 runs in his life. He's really progressed, finished 3rd in the Bartlett. of course, the Albert Bart at the Grade 1 of the Cheltenham Festival. He reportedly schooled absolutely brilliant, Dave. So that's really exciting. In terms of novice chasers to follow this season, he's the one for me outside of, as we mentioned, Final Demand. I think, obviously by the same sire as a High Seigneur as well. He went on, obviously, had finished second in the Brown Advisory. He's been put right up there in that bracket by the likes of Lucinda Russell. I think he's really exciting. And if the High Seigneur peaked at a rating of 169, I think this fella, Dave, can go right to the top in the staying novice chase division this campaign. As mentioned, an excellent third in the Bartlett. And that was just his fourth career start. Softer the ground, the better, I think, for this lad as well.
Number 5 on the list, Barry, is another Willie Mullins inmate, and that's Keel History.
Yeah, Killisdore. He was a horse to follow on this video last year, Dave. And to be fair, like he's had a good season. Like he did finish second in that Grade 2, of course, the Moscow Flyer at Punchestown in his prep run for Cheltenham. He was behind Salvador Mundi on that occasion, only beaten 3 lengths. And when you take into consideration that he's got on to win a Grade 1, he's achieved a rating of 156. How well in could Killisdore be off 131? He disappointed. Similar profile maybe to Jimmy Desai in that, he finished down the field in the Ballymore. 25 pounds in the difference between Salvador Mundi and Killisdore. I just think there's definitely that gap could be closer in terms of official ratings. I think Killisdore, he looks to me, Dave, one of the best handicapped horses in Ireland off 131. And I'm just wondering, 2.5 miles, given a prominent ride, something like a Lanzarote hurdle, Willie Mullins looking for potentially more prize money early on in the campaign this season. Could he send him across to that competitive handicap over 2.5 miles at Ascot? Or maybe perhaps he could be a plot for something like a Carl Cup. Willie Woodard, obviously, with Jimmy Desai, not too dissimilar profiles. So, yeah, he's really exciting, I think, off his current mark, Killisdore, of course, owned by that man, J.P. McManus, trained by Willie Mullins.
Yeah, well, the next horse we look at is trained by Andrew Slattery, and he's a man that's able to train them both on the level and over jumps and fences. And Fleur in the Park, what a horse this is for the upcoming season. Third to Jasmine Devoe. That's really nice form. And again, this is a horse that can fit into the anything bracket for the season ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this fella, Dave. And Fleur in the Park. Look, he's entered up for a second chase start on Monday at Wexford over 2 miles. Now, I just wonder, handicaps in the spring. I'd say there's a big pot in this fella this year. Another walk in the park to throw into the mix. Mixed it in bumpers. He was second to William Money, the horse we mentioned, as a potential maybe champion hurdle contender. This campaign, I think he was only beaten 5 lengths in a bumper. He was knocking on the door in some really, graded hurdles as well last campaign, and did finish third to Jasmine Devoe over 3 miles in Grade 1 company at the Punchestown Festival. So look, he's rated 139 over hurdles. I'd be surprised, Dave, if he doesn't end up a stone plus better over fences. I think Andrew Slattery has a nice type to go to war with this season as a jumper, and as I said, the trainer can do absolutely no wrong. Mixes it, and hope to get Andrew on the show actually this campaign as well. He's agreed to come on with us, so stay tuned to the course of the campaign. I'm really looking forward to talking to him.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have some great guests throughout the year as well, as we always do here on the Champ.ie podcast. Right, that's the first 6 of the 10 we're going to take a look at. We've 4 more to come. We've also to hear from Danny Gilligan on the show this week, and we'll be back in a couple of moments.
Gowran Park Racecourse, the premier racetrack in the southeast of Ireland, is located on the outskirts of Kilkenny City. Known as the race that stops the county, the famous Goffs Thyestes Chase 2026 takes place on Thursday the 22nd of January. With packed crowds expected once again this January, you can book your early bird tickets online today. Visit gowranpark.ie online, click the link in the Champ.ie podcast video description, or scan the QR code on screen to purchase right now.
Yes, already looking forward to Thyestes Day in January down in Gowran Park, and a massive thank you to all our sponsors. EJ Menswear, of course. Barry, you're looking very dapper in your Ralph Lauren t-shirt that EJ kindly sent you up. We're going to be making a trip down to EJ and the lads in Sligo in the coming weeks as well, and a massive thank you to everyone who stayed involved. Barry, let's move on, because we've got horse number 7 to look at. This is a horse by the name of Clondalk Park, Harry Durham's trained runner, and of course, not surprisingly, it's a third runner by walk in the park in our 10 to follow.
Yeah, I think this mare could be a really smart point-to-point recruit. We mentioned Harry Durham. He's invested heavily in terms of young stock, particularly coming from the Irish point-to-point field. And it's our third walk in the park into the mix, Dave. And I suppose Sire at the moment's Gold Cup winning sire, of course. I know the way you're thinking by Walk in the Park. And Grand National winning sire as well. Nick Rocket, you mentioned Goffs Thyestes Chase, won the Aintree Grand National as well. And Walk in the Park, of course, the sire of Clondalk Park. And I think she's exciting. Look, unreal to jump, she was described by of course, Mick Goff after her point-to-point. And, she'd schooled well in the build-up. She won at Listarona. She absolutely bolted up. And I thought she made a lovely shape over her friends. Like I say, she could go straight jumping. Obviously, they have the option. Harry Durham will stay would start her off in a bumper. But I'd say, given the reports on how she's schooled, Dave, I think she'll go straight over the smaller obstacles. And she's currently priced up at 25-1 for the mares at Novices Hurdle, Dave. And I would not put off anyone maybe considering that. I know it's a long way out and to be talking AntePost for Cheltenham, but I think she's a really smart, one of the most smart, I suppose, point-to-point recruits heading over jumps this campaign. And as I mentioned, the reports that she's schooled well, definitely positive. And she is related to the classy Nicholas Canyon as well. So there's a big class there as well in the pedigree. And Mick Goff, Harry Durham, very complimentary.
Yeah, well, the next one we look at is, of course, Kenny Alexander, old Willie Mullins trained, and that is Majalique, Barry. Tell us all about this one's chances for the year ahead. Yeah, well, look, we don't know much about her, Dave, only she really caught the eye in France. It's French recruit time. We've one French recruit set to throw into the mix, and it is Majalique. Of course, connections. Look, she's been sent to Willie Mullins, owned now by Kenny Alexander. She won over 1.2 miles in Longchamp. So not your typical, I suppose, track for horses maybe going over jumps, but and she's not by a fashionable sire either. Tigran, I'm not entirely sure how many, offspring Tigran has produced, maybe as juvenile herders, not too many, I'd imagine. Mercy, obviously, and Gallam or so, were owned by Kenny Alexander. So definitely in the right hands, but Majalique, check out her run over 1.25 miles at Longchamp. She was boxed in. She had no look in running whatsoever. I just loved, she had a lot to do, Dave, inside the last furlong, literally the last furlong. The way she picked up, the way she's galloped out through the line. To me, it was a really eye-catching performance. And I'd say this one could be a smart type, maybe going under the radar in terms of a French recruit. Majalique, this 3-year-old's daughter of Tigran. I liked what I saw in Longchamp. Yeah, horse number 9 then is a horse by the name Upon Tweed, trained by Nicky Richards. This absolutely bolted up in a bumper at Newcastle. Yeah, it did. They were trying to get in different categories here. We mentioned the French recruit. This is the northern horse maybe to follow in the north of England. So Nicky Richards obviously knows what to do when he gets a nice horse, to be fair. And this 5-year-old son of Berkshire, look, this is one that went straight into the tracker after it absolutely bolted up at Newcastle in the bumper by 8 lengths. Conman John was second, and there's a bit of substance to the form, Dave, in that the second, trained by Lucinda Russell, went on to finish 5th in the Punchestown bumper behind the smart type Soldier of Milan at the festival. So there's a little bit of form to this, substance to the form. And I just thought, look, he was held up. He sort of gradually creeped into contention. And for him to win the way he did, he's an absolute monster. He's a brute of a horse. And, looks a real galloper. I'd say 2.5 miles novice hurdles this season, Dave. Possibly maybe up to 3 miles early in his career. Be no trouble to Upon Tweed. I think he could be quite smart. And might surprise a few if he heads down south to take on maybe some graded novice hurdles. Yes, absolutely. Another cracking recruit. Right. Well, horse number 10 of the 10 then is Isacco the Sobo. Again, this one, Harry Durham, who could have a very, very good season. Tell us about this horse and what we can expect. Well, look, this one is maybe one that's comes from the point-to-point field, Dave. Again, with Harry Durham, maybe that, didn't win its point-to-point. It finished second to the well-touted Lemmy Caution, beaten a good 8 lengths on deep ground at Monk's Grange, but gone to Harry Durham from Matty Flynn O'Connor. I just think this horse could be, more of a bumper type than, 3 miles, around Monk's Grange on deep ground. A sharp, athletic type. Harry Durham, complimentary in the stable too. I think the vibes are good. With Lasco de Zobo, related to Haddix de Zobo, of course, who was a sharp 2-mile chaser who did peak at a rating of 157, trained by, of course, the Moors. And I just think this could be well placed to win a bumper. Vibes are good that this horse is working well. And Lasco de Zobo for Harry Durham, the second Durham horse into the mix, and that's the bumper horse to follow
maybe for the first part of the season, Dave. So that is the 10 to follow. We have to mention the team captain, Dave, number 11. It is Final Demand. Look, just a huge fan. To me, he's my favourite horse in training currently. Look, Energamine, he's passed on the baton to Final Demand. Not successful at the Cheltenham Festival last year. But as we did mention, I think the race wasn't run to suit. 2.5 miles on nicer ground probably wasn't his forte. Deep ground, 3 miles over a fence. This lad could go unbeaten through the campaign. I'm really looking forward to Final Demand this season. I think I put it to you like this: I wouldn't be backing any other horse for the Brown Advisory.
Yeah, I think I'll have to agree with you there, Barry. Absolutely. Well, they are the 10 to follow. Right after the break, of course, this weekend we've got cracking racing at Cheltenham. Barry and I are going to give you a selection for this weekend's racing before we'll finish off the show hearing from our very special guest, Danny Gilligan.
Midland Travel in Tullamore have been providing a full range of horse racing packages for over 20 years, catering for all types of budgets. And they're off. Stephen and the team at Midland Travel can help you realise your sporting travel dreams. Midland Travel are the only company in Ireland that runs coach and ferry packages from both Manchester United and Liverpool. Check out midlandtravel.ie or contact 057 932 6777 for more information.
From Dundalk to Longchamp, from the Galway races to the Breeders' Cup, Shamrock Thoroughbreds recently celebrated their 100th winner, and Ireland's leading racehorse syndicate has taken owners all over the world. Shamrock Thoroughbreds founder Stephen Thorne remarkably won the Winter Trainers' Championship at Dundalk during his first season as a racehorse trainer. To experience success with Shamrock Thoroughbreds and Stephen Thorne Racing, check out shamrockthoroughbreds.com.
Yes, very best of luck to Stephen and the team as well at Shamrock Thoroughbreds, and of course Midland Travel. They've got you well covered for any of your sporting occasions. Well, we're back into the action this weekend, Barry, and last year you had a tremendous year in finding us winners each and every week on the podcast. And can you kick us off with a strong fancy for this weekend, maybe at Cheltenham or elsewhere?
Yeah, 3 to watch, Dave. 3 to watch this weekend. And look, obviously we'll get into the thick of it in terms of naps and next best right throughout the campaign. This is a jumpers to follow video, Dave. But 3 that I suppose are in the tracker ahead of the weekend. Really impressed with Oons Saint Alavi for the, of course, Twiston Davis team. That's on Friday. I think I should get favourite backers off to a good weekend. I was impressed when winning a bumper, and obviously has made a good start to the campaign as well. So that's one definitely to watch. Ben Solo in the 115 at Aintree. I think he could be nicely treated over fences. And he's one definitely to mention for Rebecca Curtis this weekend on Sunday if he runs. He was entered, of course, at Chepstow, taken out due to the ground. And Ben Solo, I think, is one that definitely is to follow in the early part of the season. That should be ready to rock and roll. So that'll be 3 for me, Dave. And looking forward to Monday as well to see how our horse to follow, Fleur in the Park, gets on. I'd imagine 2 miles this horse. It could be just a second run with a view to a handicap mark after run 3. But watch with interest Fleur in the Park on Monday at Wexford.
Absolutely. And John McConnell, of course, always targets his horses at this Cheltenham meeting over the next couple of days. And one for me this weekend, intense approach. I think he can run a very nice race. He was a very good winner last time out. I think he can improve plenty and be very competitive this weekend. Right. It's now time for us to hear from our very special guest on the first show of the new season at Champ.ie. Let's hear from Danny Gilligan.
I'm delighted to be joined by our special guest on the Champ.ie podcast this week. Champion conditional rider last season, Cheltenham festivals galore. Danny, another Galway plate and a winner in America as well. And I do believe the Champ.ie Young Rider Award from last season is sitting nicely on the mantelpiece as well.
Yeah, great to be on, and thanks very much for the award last year. And things are going great, so can't complain.
Very much deserved, Danny. I suppose, where do we start? Look, I suppose the season last year, numbers wise, getting that conditionals championship, that must have meant a lot to you after the last couple of years of really, I suppose, riding plenty of winners and catching the eye in the public.
Yeah, definitely. It was a massive achievement. I have plenty of people to thank for it. So many great opportunities, and it was such a great start to my career, and very grateful for all the opportunity I've got.
there must be a serious buzz around the place at Cullentra at the moment. 5 winners in the US. You played your part. Kutash in America. Talk us through the win and I suppose the celebrations over in America. I mean, you're looking fresh for a man that was part of a team that had 5 winners in Far Hills.
Yeah, it was a deadly experience to be able to get the chance to go over and ride there. Look, you couldn't write the day Gordon had over there. He brought over 6 horses and to win all the jump races over there with 5 winners was you just couldn't write it. And it was a great opportunity to get the chance to ride Kutak. He had been named for America all along, and when I heard that I'd be riding him, I was very happy, and yeah, it was great. It was great to be a part of it, as you said, and yeah, it was a great experience over there.
Looking ahead to the new season, you have 18 winners on the board as we're speaking at the moment. So the season has started well for yourself numbers-wise. The team itself, I mean, you look pretty stacked in particular in that stay and hurdle division. Obviously, to you, Boo, the Yellow Clay has been spoken about as Gordon's, but a horse that could potentially stay hurdling and go up and trip. And Woodhoo, she's the mare, obviously, that's got Gordon Elliott the big win at the festival last year. Yourself on board. Talk us through that day and I suppose the division and the options Gordon has in that division this year.
Yeah, he looks to have a strong team in for them caliber races. Yeah, Tiapu, he's only after coming back to the yard there not so long ago. Yeah, he looks like he can pick up where he left off last year, and he's obviously has proven himself in that staying category. The Yellow Clay, he's a horse to look forward to as well. He's a horse with a lot of ability, and I think he'd have no bother going a trip as well. And yeah, Woodhoo, yeah, she's been a great mare. She was kind of one that just kept progressing as well, and I'd say she's definitely well entitled to take the step up in class into open company this year. And yeah, they're all exciting to look forward to.
Woodhoo, 7 wins made over hurdles, I do believe in her, because she's only 5. Like, how much improvement do you think there could be in her, particularly stepping up in trip?
Yeah, look, she's age on her side. She's after coming back in this year a lot stronger, and yeah, she looks a lot stronger, and yeah, I'd say I'd like to think there is plenty of improvement left in her still. Her last run when she stepped up into Grade 1 company was a fair effort. I certainly
were
wouldn't
you
be afraid
surprised, Danny? Were you surprised how close she got to last time out at entry, or were you not surprised?
I wasn't surprised, but I wouldn't have been disappointed if she hadn't run up to that standard. But I wasn't surprised to the level she ran to, and yeah, as I said, I wouldn't mind taking them on again. 'Cause, I do think the way she's coming back in this year, how she looks and how much she's after strengthening up. You'd like to think she'd give them a fair rattle again.
Sounds like you're really looking forward to Woodhoo then. Speaking about, I suppose, the mares in that category, Brighter Days Ahead and Romeo Coolio obviously did a gelding, but the two of those, I mean, have you schooled either, or have you seen them school? How's preparations going for both this season?
Yeah, they're both schooling well. Haven't actually got the chance to sit on any of them, but yeah, they're both schooling well, and yeah, hopefully they're in for big seasons too.
Brighter Days Ahead, obviously, you know, lots has been made about her Cheltenham form overall, but scope for a fence. I mean, she's a massive mare, isn't she?
Yeah, she's more of a gelding than a mare. I think she'll have no problem jumping the fence, and yeah, if she was to bring the same level of form over fences, and there's no reason why she cannot be better over a fence than what she was over hurdles. So yeah, look, she's very exciting to look forward to.
Romeo Cutie obviously looks a sharp type. Is he one that you could see, if all goes well, that he could head down potentially the Arkle route?
You'd imagine so, yeah. He's obviously a horse with loads of ability, and yeah, see how he starts off the season, and yeah, he could be very possible he go down that route.
We were just speaking about Woodhoo and how much she improved, Danny, last campaign. There's one horse I wanted to ask you about because he really took a massive step forward from Leopardstown. Obviously went on to win the Grade 1 at Aintree for Gordon, and ran an absolute cracker, didn't he, in Punchestown as well. Honesty Policy. He's a horse that came a long way in such a short space of time. How excited are you from a team perspective to see him this year?
Yeah, he came on leaps and bounds from each run. Yeah, and he was another one that looks has strengthened up plenty as well. So yeah, look, there's plenty of horses there in the yard that exciting to start off and get going with them and see how they're progressing.
He Can't Dance. Speaking about exciting horses, he was one that was well touted coming into the season last year as a bumper horse, but he certainly, to look at him, Daddy, he's more of a jumper than a bumper horse, isn't he?
Certainly, yeah. I think what he done over in or what he done in bumpers will only be a patch on what he's going to be when he goes over hurdles and even down the road when he jumps the fence. He's a fine big horse, and yeah, hopefully he's a bright future ahead.
Would you see him as a proper staying type? Gordon obviously has a good record over the years, Gigginstown as well, with horses in that sort of staying novice division. Is he one that you could see maybe potentially being a Bartlett horse or maybe a Turner's horse? Do you think staying trips is going to see him to best effect?
You'd imagine so, but with the model of a horse he is, and yeah, you'd imagine them staying chases will be right up his street, and yeah, only time will tell and see how he progresses. But yeah, I'd say he's more of a staying chaser in the making.
What about, I suppose, the younger recruits this year? Lemmy Caution, he was very impressive when winning point to point. He certainly looks one. Anything else catching your eye as well?
Yeah, there's plenty. There's plenty of new stock there that are doing things nicely. They're just stepping up every week now. They haven't really got into the thick of it yet, so still finding out bits about them. Yeah, but there looks to be plenty of nice ones there that have won their point to point, and yeah, it's still early days yet with them, and
without Danny, without lots of work or much work being done at all at the moment, I suppose, is there any of them physically that are catching your eye?
The horse, Grange Park, he was an expensive horse after winning his point to point. He looks like one that can be very good, and Lemmy Caution, as you said, he's catching a lot of people's eyes. So yeah, look, there's plenty more of them there that are doing things very nicely. But yeah, that's just to name two.
There was one other horse, Danny, wanted to ask you about. Maybe that hasn't maybe peaked as of yet. Qualamita. She's a mare that was obviously very impressive. She just said winning a point to point. But would you be expecting a lot better from her this campaign? Qualamita, could she potentially get a nice mark?
You'd like to think so. She ran well the last day in Thurles. Yeah, you'd like to think she can be better than what she has done to date. She does things well at home, and yeah, hopefully she can get being off a nice mark, and hopefully there's a couple of big pots in her.
Apart from the obvious, Danny, horse to follow from yourself for the season, what are you going to give us to follow that maybe we can follow throughout the campaign and maybe pick up a few races?
There's plenty of nice ones there, but one that comes to mind straight away is Wood, who obviously having a great association with her, and yeah, I'd love to see her step up again and see how far she can go.
How far do you think she can go yourself?
Look, I do think there is improvement left in her. How far or what she can do, only time will tell. But yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to her stepping into open Grade 1 company again. Anyways.
Thanks, folks. It's going to be a Baltic winter, and our winter wonder is back here at EJ Menswear and EJMenswear.com. €279 for 5 pieces, all in, including your wool coat. We've an unbelievable selection in this. Start off with your coat, build that. Choose a top from a quarter zip net from Ted Smith. Any of our shirts, hundreds and hundreds of different combinations you can put together here. I've gone all black with the charcoal grey coat. Everything included in this: your coat, your quarter zip, or your shirt or your top, your bottoms. We even throw in the free scarf and socks. €279. It's a saving of over €200. The colours in the coats are class. You've got your camel there at the front. You've got your French navy. You have the black and you have the charcoal that I'm wearing here. A saving of over €200. The Winter Wonder Bundle is live now on the website, EJ Menswear, and in store in Grattan Street in Sligo.
Yes, and of course, with EJ Menswear, there's an extra 5% off EJ Menswear orders online with the following promotion that we have on screen. And, well, they've got some fantastic clothes down, and you can check them all out online as well, EJ Menswear, Barry.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to getting down to EJ's and getting our very own, of course, Winter Wonderland bundle, Dave. So really looking forward to that. We'll have an exciting competition as well for Champ.ie followers in relation to EJ Menswear as well. So stay tuned. Early November, I do believe a trip is scheduled, Dave, and we can upgrade the Taylor bundle that you're wearing, Dave, and the Ralph Lauren polo for a lovely winter woolly bundle. That will serve us well for heading to the likes of Goffs Thyestes Day, of course, Gowran Park. Once again, a big thank you to all our partners for coming on board once again with us this season, Dave.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that is the first show of the season, and we hope you've enjoyed it. And of course, we want to encourage you as well to enter the competition. You will see the details. Midland Travel giving us that fantastic prize, that trip to the Cheltenham Festival in March. Do get entering, and remember, you need to subscribe to the Champ.ie channel. It's very easy to follow all the instructions, and of course, the winner will be announced, of course, on the 12th of February.
What is the viewers' one horse to follow this season? Not just the horse, but please let us know why. Make a case, because the road to Cheltenham is coming back, and we need to have plenty of ideas ahead of the, of course, return of the Road to Cheltenham Challenge. I do believe, Dave, the first date for that show is the 10th of November. I do believe that's a Monday.
It certainly is a Monday. Well, that's bringing the show to a close for the first episode of the Season 7 of Champ.ie. From Barry and I, we hope you've enjoyed the 10 to follow, and we'll see you all next week.